be able to invest over time in things that can help you amass all those assets that can take care of your future, your 2 years future, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, you need to watch the 7 habits I've outlined and ensure that you check yourself on them and put yourself on the right path. So today we are continuing on our 7 habits keeping you poor. We had the first one last week. Check this above, tap above if you want to watch the video, and when you're done with that, come back to this one. Habit number 5, the fear of taking risk. There's risk in everything. I tell all those I talk to about personal finance, about investing, that there is no way on planet Earth that you want to invest, no matter what it is. I tell them that the other side of investment is risk. You cannot avoid risk. In fact, even life is a risk. I mean, the fact that you leave your house every morning, you go out of your door, you go to the road, anything can happen. Life is a risk. So there's risk in investing, but you now should know your risk threshold, because if you say because you want to keep your money safe, you will not try to invest the money, you will forever live paycheck to paycheck, and at some point the quality of your life will keep on dwindling. Because as years evolve, you need investment to keep you afloat, to keep you having the opportunity to live a better life. You need to invest, and the earlier you invest, the better. Because investing is like a tree. You know, when you plant a tree, a very small seed that will grow into a tree, right? It first has to go deep down. The root will go deep down before it sprouts. That's just what investing is about, because it will take a while before it can come up. So you cannot say, oh, I will invest when I'm 35 and then you want to retire at 40. That's too short. But imagine that you start investing at 25, 26. At looking at, by 40 years old, you have had like 10 active years of investing. There is no power from your father or mother's house that will say that you will not live a very comfortable. In fact, if you invest right in some particular assets, you'll be wealthy in your older age, and you enjoy that wealth and pass it on to the next generation. So you need to take risk. Like, if there's no way you can avoid risk, even if you want to do a particular investment type that the risk is not high, there's still risk involved. Let me categorize for you. Investment types in which do not have very high risk is shares. In shares, if you buy something called S&P 500, that's like a basket of the shares of different companies, the top 500 companies in the US. So what does this do? How does this help you to limit risk? It's because just in case one company flops, at least you have like 499 companies that can still hold your money. So if you want to really limit the risk in shares, like very low risk in shares, you invest in S&P 500. You can get that on, if you're in Nigeria, on platforms like Bamboo. I'll put the link that you can use to register on these platforms in the comments. So you can either do S&P 500 on Optimus by Invest, or you do it on Bamboo. Great. Now, another low risk investment type is real estate. Yes, as long as you do it safe. I mean, you do it from a company that you've checked their track records. You've just ensured that you've made your research on them, made your research on where they have their properties. You've even taken the properties and you've gone to chart them. You can be absolutely safe. One of such companies I recommend is Land Republic. I work with Land Republic, and I tell you that even if I stop working as a staff of that company today, I will still buy all my properties, refer people to buy all the properties from Land Republic, because it's very, very difficult to see a company in Nigeria that you can wholly trust without having issues with your real estate investing. So if you buy from Land Republic, low risk, I assure you. Another low risk investment form is if you buy Treasury bills or you buy FGM bonds. Now, FGM bonds, somebody else might argue that, oh, it's no longer low risk because of some things that's been happening with them these days. Perhaps I'll do that in an entirely new video. But FGM bonds, Treasury bills, also low risk. You can get FGM bonds with itemized. I'll also give you the link in the comments. And if you want more details, what is this about, text me up. Use the link in my description to text me on WhatsApp, and I'll put you through all of that. I have a community for that. And if you just drop in the comments, just drop Inner Circle in the comments, and we'll reach out to you on how to join the community. So I've mentioned 4 different risk investment. Now let's go to medium risk. Now for medium risk, you can have something called Mutual funds. Mutual funds is also a basket of different asset forms. In mutual funds, you can have commercial papers, you can have treasury bills, you can have shares, all in a mutual fund. It's like a basket of assets that when you invest, just in case, just like S&P 500, in case one does not do so well, the other one can do well. For mutual funds, depending on which of them you're investing in, it can give you medium risk type. I mean, it can do so well and it may not do so great over time. It just depends, right, on what is in the collection of those funds, what makes up the mutual fund. Now, very high risk. Typical example, crypto. Crypto has a very high risk form. It's a very high risk form of investment. So now, I've mentioned 3 different types. Now, ask yourself, if I put 1 million naira in something that is going to give me, let me say 5 million naira, can I do that in case my 1M does not come back to me? Will I be fine? If you be fine, then you are a high risk investor. If you are someone that I can take risk, right, but at least it should not be too risky, then I can say you're a medium risk investor. But see those that do low risk, if possible, they want to avoid risk at all costs. But just because you cannot avoid risk in any investment type, then at least they will just invest. So low risk investors are those that if possible, my 1 naira must not go anywhere. Those are low risk investors. So just know your investor type. Myself, like I said, I fall between medium to low risk depending on the asset form I'm investing in. But you see, high risk, you won't find me there. I might do crypto a little bit, but you see, when it comes to putting huge money in crypto, that if I lose it, my mind will do BIM. You won't find me there. So know your risk type, know your risk threshold, and then stick to investment forms around this risk threshold. There is no investing without risk. Hear me well. Now, habit number 6, keeping you poor, keeping you everly financially dependent on your paycheck, is what? You ignoring debt. See, don't ever ignore debt. If they say that, even if this one is not just for Nigerians, those in diaspora, your credit card, don't keep amassing credits on that card. There's something called your credit card score, right? I mean, if it's strong enough, they use these things as metrics for you qualifying for this or that. That is because debt is not good. There's a way you can use debt for good, right? Like maybe if you're purchasing a property, a mortgage, you're getting mortgage in a house that you're not living in, but you're renting it out. That can be good debt. But you see, debt that you get to buy things that will not make you more money. Things like, I'm getting a debt now because I want to buy a car. If you are the one driving that car and the car is not primarily maybe for business, that will not be a very great way of incurring debt. But if you just have to, let's say you have no choice but to incur debt for anything, please don't ignore it. Don't pile up debt upon debt. It will keep you in a cycle that you will never be able to have active cash for yourself, because once you are earning, you are paying back. Once you are earning, you are paying back. Don't just keep owing. Try your best that if you are owing debt, I have a video on how to repay back debt, right? You don't pay it with all your income. If say you earn 300k and you are owing maybe 200k, don't just carry 200 from that 300k salary and pay back that debt. So it means that 100k will not be able to sustain your active lifestyle, and you might need to borrow again from somebody else to be able to survive for that month. So don't pay debt all at once. You need to have a dialogue with whoever you're owing. If it's a company, well, I don't know how you do that with all these loan apps, but if it's an individual, tell the person, I'll repay you back. But can I be repaying you back, let me say 50k every month, depending on how much you earn, but draw up a percentage from your income to pay back that debt over time. Spread it, don't pay that once, else it will affect you. Except your income is really huge. Like if you pick out your debt can be maybe like 10% of your entire income, then that makes sense. And we ensure that even while you are paying back your debt, you don't have to borrow again to sustain your lifestyle. Now, final habit keeping you poor is, guess, lack of goal setting. This is very important. See, you need to plan everything. Plan it to the minute part. Whenever I'm spending money, I ensure that, okay, first off, whenever I earn any money, I have a percentage that I allocate to this and that. Now, when I'm spending money, if I've expended, I have a particular account that is I call it my pay account. So once I receive any money, I move money around, then I move money to an account. The percentage I'm paying myself from the money I received, I remove it to an account that I tag my pay. If I've exhausted the money in that my pay, if I'm picking money from any other place, it's a debt. I will refund myself. So set your goals. If you are saying to yourself that this month I want to do this, please do not go above that. Do not do something else that is not in it. If not, if you are constantly always eating into other things that are not your active goals, or that are not a pressing need in your life to use money for. Presently, where I stay, I had somebody come to visit me, and I was like, how can you be staying in this kind of estate or this kind of house and you don't have a car? Because of my rents. So some people will think that if you have a kind of lifestyle, the next thing is to upgrade with a car. I am not seeing a car as a priority right now, because I know that even if I get the car, right, it's something I have to sustain over time, and I don't think I want my money to be going into maintaining a car, because a car that I'm using to make money is not an asset, it's a liability. So on my own pressing goal, so that my finance will not be extra stretched, a car is not in my scope. But for some other persons that might be doing the way I'm doing, like having the kind of money I have, making the kind of money I make, they'll say, oh, the next thing is I need to have level up with a car. Meanwhile, it will further stretch their finance and not help them really invest in things that can now begin to really build wealth for them, build a life of financial freedom, because that's just the goal. See, nothing is sweeter than having your own money, not just active money. You know that your next 5 years taken care of. There are those that they sit down today and they know that they have invested for the next 5 years. That kind of feeling, imagine it. Imagine that your expenses was for 6 months. If you don't even actively work, if you say that for this next 3 months, I don't want to actively work, I want to take a break, I want to declutter my mind. You don't have to bother that I will eat. You can get to that point, but for you to get to that point, you need to know how to do the 7 things I talked about and ensure that these habits do not keep you poor. Because if you don't have 6 months of your expenses saved up, but then you're poor. Because if anything happens to your active income today, you are in deep shit. So 6 months of your living expenses, asset that can take care of your 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. If you will not amass the asset on one day, please note, don't feel pressured. It's over time. But for you to be able to invest over time in things that can help you amass all those assets that can take care of your future, your 2 years future, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, you need to watch these 7 habits I've outlined and ensure that you check yourself on them and put yourself on the right path. Alright, you're very much welcome, because I know that you're like, ooh, so thank you. You're welcome, and I will see you on my next